He insisted the Sussexes New York trip was a clear indication of the difference between the couple and the rest of the royals. He emphasized the size difference in crowds and the level of dignitaries Meghan and Harry were able to meet. Mr. Sacerdoti said, "There is interest in Meghan and Harry, naturally. They are celebrities, they do get an enormous amount of coverage and they rely on it. But I think it is not the same kind of attention. When there is a royal tour, you see streets lined with people waiting to see what is happening. You see dignitaries rolled out, but I think Meghan and Harry had to make do with some relatively lower-level officials meeting them. Meeting for what appeared to be completely pointless gatherings and meetings. Crowds that were somewhat underwhelming when you saw it in the footage. It highlighted the gulf between a royal tour and a would-be royal tour they were engaging in. I suspect we are going to see more of that going forward." Mr. Sacerdoti also commented on Meghan and Harry's ability to repair their relationship with the British public. He claimed the royal pair had now burnt bridges and would not face the same support they once did while working in the royal family if they returned to the UK. He added that after the pair stepping down as senior royals and moving to America, many Britons have firmly made their mind up about the couple. He added traditional royal family fans are unlikely to change their minds either. Kidnapper Arthur Edwards, who has been photographing the royals for decades, said duty and service mean everything to the monarch, 95. He added that she is determined to carry on for as long as possible. Mr. Edwards also said the Queen's aides will struggle to persuade her to slow down. The photographer said, "The problem her aides will now face is trying to stop her doing too much. Her pledge to serve the nation at her coronation in 1953 is as firm now as it was back then. This is a woman for whom duty and service mean everything. Her role is her life. And she is determined to carry on that role as long as she can." Mr. Edwards insisted that the Queen will never abdicate, but may pass more duties to the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Cambridge. Writing for The Sun, he said, "So, don't expect an abdication. The Queen will never quit, though she may stand back and let Princes Charles and William do more." Mr. Edwards' comments come after the Queen spent Wednesday night in hospital. Her stay at King Edward VII's Hospital in London was kept a secret by Buckingham Palace until reports emerged on Thursday night. A palace spokesman said, following medical advice to rest for a few days, the Queen attended hospital on Wednesday afternoon for some preliminary investigations, returning to Windsor Castle at lunchtime today, and remains in good spirits. The monarch was said to be back at her desk and carrying out light duties on Thursday afternoon following her return to Windsor Castle. The Queen has had a grueling schedule of royal engagements in recent weeks. She hosted a major global investment summit at Windsor Castle on Tuesday evening. The head of state, who is just 5 years away from her 100th birthday, is due to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee 70 years on the throne next year. She still keeps a busy diary of events and audiences and deals with her daily red boxes of official papers. The monarch, who cancelled a trip to Northern Ireland this week, is due to host a reception in Scotland on November 1 for the COP26 climate change conference. Comes after an announcement on Wednesday that the head of state's trip to Northern Ireland was cancelled after doctors' orders to rest. Buckingham Palace insisted Her Majesty was in good spirits following preliminary investigations during her hospital visit. Her admittance is understood not to have been related to coronavirus. A palace source said that the overnight stay was for practical reasons and the Queen was working on Thursday afternoon, undertaking light duties. Many royal fans took to social media to extend well wishes for the monarch and wish her a speedy recovery. However, the Daily Mail TMS royal commentator Richard Eden blasted fans of the Sussexes for posts they shared while the sovereign spent a night in hospital. Mr. Eden said he had seen fans trolling, and tweeted one fan TMS account as an example. Taking to Twitter, Mr. Eden shared screenshots of tweets from the account at the Madam Duchess, which discussed shopping for a coffin for the monarch. He wrote, "There are some disgusting posts about the Queen from Harry and Meghan fans. Royal. The screenshot he shared shows 2 tweets, and the first reads, "BRB im shopping for coffins for the Queen," alongside a meme of someone walking quickly into the distance. The second post from the same account reads, "Don't worry Queen, I got you at Royal Family. Which one do you want now? Stainless steel, mahogany, oak?" It was coupled with screenshots from a coffin website. Mr. Eden wasn't TMT the only one who was unimpressed by the tweets, as many other users blasted the account for being disgraceful and disgusting. Rolene Marks, a keynote speaker and commentator on Israel and the Middle East, tweeted from her account at Roll Marks to say, "This is disgraceful. Have they been reported to the authorities?" At Taxa12060811 added, "I have no words for the lack of humanity it would take to post something like that about another human." While at Rebel Troop blasted the fans as an absolute disgrace, and many others said they had reported the original tweets. Prior to the Monarch TMS night in hospital, Her Majesty has undertaken an impressive 14 engagements over the last 3 weeks. The latest saw the head of state host a major global investment summit at Windsor Castle on Tuesday evening. The Queen was joined by her heirs the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Cambridge at the reception. The guest list boasted leading figures of innovation including Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates and US climate envoy John Kerry. In recent weeks the monarch, who celebrates her Platinum Jubilee marking 70 years on the throne in 2022, has been seen using a walking stick. She was first pictured using the walking stick in public when she attended a service marking the centenary of the Royal British Legion. The Queen was seen using it during appearances at both Westminster Abbey and the Senedd, Cardiff, but not during Tuesday TMS Global Investment Summit. Duchess of Sussex has written an open letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senator Chuck Schumer calling for paid leave for all parents. Meghan said she is not an elected official nor is she a politician, but an engaged citizen and a parent. She said millions of women have dropped out of the American workforce to care for their children and loved ones, and the pandemic has exposed long-existing fault lines in our communities. She wrote, "The working mom or parent is facing the conflict of being present or being paid. The sacrifice of either comes at a great cost." The letter comes as Meghan and Prince Harry begin to return to public engagements after the birth of their daughter Lilibet in June. The Duchess recalled being overjoyed and overwhelmed by young Lily, and admitted that many parents are and TMT afforded the luxury of being able to spend those first few critical months with their baby, instead being forced back to work by financial necessity. The US has no paid parental leave system at present, although President Joe Biden has pledged to introduce it. While Meghan has insisted she is not a politician, her letter is a break from royal tradition in that it comes down firmly on one side of a political debate. The Duchess has been tipped to move into politics in the future, with some even positing that she may one day run for president. Tom Bauer, who is currently writing a biography of the Duchess, wrote in The Sun earlier this year that running for president is surely the next step for Meghan. In a piece celebrating Meghan TM's 40th birthday earlier this summer, Mr. Bauer wrote, "Once Harry has finished promoting his books, will Meghan launch her own global campaign to engage in the swirling muck of American politics? Just as she seduced the royal family, will she tempt California TMS power brokers to promote her own political ambitions to the Senate and possibly beyond, via her friendship with America TMS Vice President Kamala Harris and the Obamas?" However, he did note Meghan TM's thin skin to criticism, likely referring to her response to critical press coverage. He said, "Although her political rhetoric is skeletal and her skin is thin to criticism, surely that is the next step on her crusade for goodness. Criticism is an inherent part of politics, as politicians throw dirt at each other and with the public willing to castigate politicians for any decision they disagree with. Those going into politics therefore have to be aware that this is an unfortunate reality for lawmakers." However, Meghan would not be the first Hollywood star to make the jump from actor to politician in the US. Fellow Hollywood stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Ronald Reagan have ventured into politics before her. Mr. Schwarzenegger served as the 38th governor of California, while Mr. Reagan was president from 1981 until 1989. Mr. Bauer suggested Meghan would have little difficulty being nominated as one of California TM's 40 congressmen sent to Washington, owing to the support she would have from Democrat godfathers the Clintons and the Obamas. If successful for 2 terms, a mere 4 years, he said Meghan could then run for one of California TM's 2 Senate seats, or run for the state TM's governorship. After a decade, which Mr. Bauer described as the prime of a politician TM's life, she could feasibly justify a bid to be the Democratic nomination for the presidency. Mr. Bauer wrote, "To get that prize will require a lot of learning, endless travel, and an iron constitution to survive exhausting political meetings and defeat the critics. Meghan certainly has the guts and self-belief to fight to the top of the greasy pole. The question is whether she has the stamina." When asked about the possibility of Meghan running for president in 2024, Donald Trump said he hopes it happens. He said, "If that happened, I think I would have an even stronger feeling toward running. I am not a fan of Meghan." Meghan and Harry TM's appearance on the front cover of Time magazine last month drew comparisons with a 2016 edition of the magazine, which featured former President Barack Obama. Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams told The Sun last month that the cover made it very, very clear that politics was on the couple TM's mind. He said, "I think there is absolutely no doubt that if they made the cover, it TM's not about what they TMV achieved, but what they could achieve." While not stretching as far as saying she could be heading for the White House, Mr. Fitzwilliams said, "I think it makes total sense that becoming a political figure would certainly be on the cards. UTM re-looking at Congress or maybe even the Senate, she TM's only 40 so there TM's plenty of time." He added, "I think Meghan and politics are going to be synonymous at a certain point."